Hello, my dear friends. My name is Mario Pedro Gould. You are now tuned into the Alpha Success Network. And the conversation that I want to have with you here today, my dear friends, is one of the most important conversations that I have ever had with you. Consequently, I really want you to pay a lot of attention to the information I'm going to convey here with you because if you do, it could be the key, ladies and gentlemen, it could be the key to open up the door to what I would call your promised land of milk and honey. That is your joy, your peace, your harmony, your success, and all the things that you really desire is going to come from the conversation we're going to have here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe wholeheartedly that any form of success that you want to realize in life, and right now we're talking about holistic success. So it could be success in, your spirituality, your success in how you think, your intelligence, your success in your emotional world, in the business world, in relationships, in society in general. Your ability to achieve a very high level of success in anything that you choose to do and focus your energy on solely depends on the amount of self belief that you have for yourself. Okay? So, if you believe in yourself 10%, you're going to experience 10% of results. If you believe in yourself 50%, you're going to experience 50% of results. If you believe in yourself 100%, you're going to experience 100% of results. And if you believe in yourself 700%, you're going to experience 700% of results. So, I'm going to give you an hypothetical situation. Actually, it's not hypothetical. It's a real situation because it occurred to me. But um, I'm going to use you as an example and ask yourself or think about how you'd actually handle this situation. There's something that you're doing in your life right now that is of significant importance to you. Maybe you are trying your best to be a phenomenal mother, a phenomenal father, a phenomenal husband, a phenomenal engineer, doctor. You're trying to be a phenomenal friend. You're trying to be a phenomenal contributor to society. Whatever it is that you've chosen to be the most important thing for you, your magnificent obsession. And you're doing this thing on a day-to-day basis. And somebody comes to you and tells you, hey, you're doing it all wrong. You're doing the wrong thing. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing this. This is wrong. This is a stupid thing to do. You're going to fail. So pretty much someone is coming over and cheating on your dreams. Now, I am pretty sure that you have had this experience in the past, or maybe you're even going through this experience right now, or is probably coming in the very near future. If somebody comes and poo-poos on your dreams, on your ambitions, on your aspirations, on your desires, my dear friends, how will you handle that situation? You see, the way you handle that situation is going to determine your success or lack thereof in that activity. And there's only two ways you can handle this situation. Number one is you can stop believing in your own vision, in your own dreams, and you can just choose to walk away from your visions and dreams, which is what 99% of people do when they experience criticism. Or you can put your foot down and say, hey, I know exactly what I'm doing. It is in alignment with my value system. It is a deep core of my vision. I believe in myself 100%. So regardless of what you tell me, I'm going to keep going for what I have deemed to be most important to me. How will you handle the situation? This conversation was inspired because I just went through a similar situation, and it really had me thinking about how I deal with these types of situations. Pretty much somebody told me that what I am doing in my life to be successful, the businesses I'm building, they are going to fail. I need to spend my time elsewhere. I need to spend my energy elsewhere. And he was just pretty much poo-pooing on my dreams. And when I looked at his message, a very funny thing occurred to me. I just turned around and I told him, "Thank you very much for your insight. I'm wishing you continued prosperity in your life. Move on." You see, ladies and gentlemen, I have a 100%, 700% self belief in myself, self belief in how I think, self belief in how I feel, self belief in my ability to achieve phenomenal success in all arenas of my life. Hence, nobody can come over and tell me that I am doing the wrong thing or I'm going the wrong path. So, the question, the core of the conversation that I want to have here with you today is how can you develop a very high level of self belief? And I believe this is a conversation that I'm qualified to speak about because I have always had almost a 700% belief in myself, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be a tricky situation because I want to share with you the mindsets that go along with somebody who's got a very high sense of self-belief. But the tricky thing about it is that maybe I do not even know where I received this sense of self-belief. Maybe it was something that I was born with, or maybe it was a skill that I acquired down the road. But I'll share with you some mindsets, and hopefully some of these mindsets you can use in your own life when you're receiving criticism from the external world. Okay? Criticism can come from people that you don't even know. Maybe you write a book, they criticize your book. Maybe you make a video, they criticize your video. How do you handle negative criticism? Really depends on the amount of self-belief that you have. So, for myself, I can remember when I was young. I started business when I was very, very young. I would have said easily around the age of 14. And when I got into business at such a tender age, I began to learn that there is no such thing as failure, ladies and gentlemen. There's only trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. So every time I tried to do something, I went in with the assumption that I'm actually going to win. And when it turned out that I didn't win, I didn't look at myself like a failure. I looked at myself like, hey, maybe next time I'm going to do it this way. And as I went through a lot of trial and error in different areas of my life, my self-belief grew. I don't know where my self-belief originated from, but it grew. So look at your life. If you think that you're a failure, then you're going to have a low sense of self-belief. But if you look at everything in your life that you're doing as trial and error, then that is going to help you have a very high level of self-belief because there's no way you can fail, you can only learn. So that's the first thing that I want to point out to you. The second aspect of having a strong sense of self-belief is you must be stubborn in a certain way. And I'm going to give you a phenomenal example. I remember when I was growing up, my dad always told me that you were going to be a failure. You were going to be a failure. So he's telling me, his son, you're always going to be a failure. You're always going to be a failure. And for some reason whatsoever, in my head, I was like, no, I'm not going to be a failure. I'm actually going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. And the crazy thing about it is that for a good part of my adult life, I just set out to prove my father wrong, that I wasn't a failure. But think about this. That sense of being stubborn to prove that you believe in yourself actually helps you develop a high sense of self-belief. So for me, I got this negative, if I can use those words, negative, what's the word I'm looking for? Negative communication that was coming from my dad saying I'm going to be a failure, but I turn around and say, hey, hell no, I ain't a failure. I'm actually going to do phenomenal. I'm actually going to do great. I'm actually going to be a success, right? But that same mindset is the same mindset that I use in my adult life. You know what I'm saying? When I was going through university, when I'm going through business, when I'm going through trying to figure out relationships, there's always someone saying you're going to fail. It could be the critics, or it could be people that know you. But I have adopted a mindset to prove other people wrong for a very long time. But luckily, right now in my life, I don't need to prove anybody wrong because I've developed my self belief to such a high level that I know I'm going to be successful. So I don't need to prove anybody wrong. But one mindset that you want to bring into place and be stubborn with is when the critics say you ain't going to make it, say, no, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And just be stubborn and keep pushing and keep persisting against the negative criticism that is coming towards you. So that's the second mindset that I'd like to invite you to adopt. Let's see if I could give you a different mindset, a third mindset that you can adopt. The third mindset that you can adopt really has to do with looking at how far you have come and saying that you are already a success today. Look at all the obstacles, the challenges, the difficulties you have had to face in your life to get you to the point that you are in today as you watch this video. This is evidence, my dear friends, that you are a winner, that you are a champion, that you are an overcomer. And that means that anything that you put your heart, soul, and mind to, you can overcome, you can be successful in. So if you look at things from that perspective, you look at your history and you realize that you are a success right now, nobody external to you can poo-poo your dreams anymore because you know how far you have come. I'm going to leave this conversation as it is because I just want you to go back and really think about how much you believe in yourself. The amount of belief that you have in yourself is the key determinant to achieving success in any arena in your life that you choose to focus your efforts on 100%. So my encouragement to you is choose to believe in yourself like nobody's business. Have yourself a beautiful next 24 hours.